Hey guys, Aaron here. Today we're going to be replacing the water pump on this Chevy Silverado with a 5.3 liter engine. Now if you have the 6.2, years 2014 through 2018, these procedures will be the exact same. And what we're experiencing with this truck is a slight ticking sound or whining sound coming from the bearings inside the water pump themselves, located down there. Now before we begin, let's go ahead and go over everything we're going to need to replace that pump. So we're going to need a 10mm socket, an 8mm or 5/16 socket. We're going to need a torque wrench. We're going to need a 1/2" ratchet and a 3/8 ratchet. We'll also need our new water pump. Now I bought this water pump from a GM dealership. I'll go ahead and throw a link in the description of where you can actually get this OEM pump for a better price. It also does include a new gasket, which is nice. This is a metal crush gasket, so once you crush the gasket, they generally don't seal up too good anymore. And also I'll include the torque specifications when we get to that point. And then also you're going to need 2 gallons of Dexcool antifreeze. Now the first thing that we need to do is to remove the negative battery cable off the battery. This truck is equipped with an auto start feature. We don't want this truck accidentally starting or somebody getting in it and turning on the ignition. So with a 10mm socket, go ahead and loosen up the terminal. Just swing it to the side. And after that's complete, next thing we need to do is drain the coolant. Go ahead and remove the cap off of your reservoir. And then we're going to go ahead and loosen the petcock on the bottom of the radiator. It's on the passenger side, just below the lower coolant hose. And to loosen that up, all we need to do is turn it. You don't need any tools. It has 2 little wings, and you can simply turn it. It's hard to see from this angle, but once you loosen it up, you'll start to see coolant coming down. Now that all of our coolant's drained, the first thing that we need to do if you have an original intake is to remove it. Now to do that, you're going to remove both PCV hoses, one on the left and one on the right side, and then you're going to loosen up the 8mm or 5/16 hose clamp, both at the airbox and at the throttle body, and then remove the connector for your mass airflow sensor. Next, we're going to need to remove the serpentine belt in order to gain access to the water pump bolts. So to do that, take your 1/2" ratchet, put it in the tensioner, and push to the left. Now we can take our belt off. Next, using a 10mm socket, we're going to remove all 6 bolts holding on the water pump. What you can do is turn the pulley until you gain access to those bolts. So you're gonna have to just take your finger and turn it until you can get to your socket on them. Now once all 6 bolts are removed, we can simply pry off the old water pump. And remove the gasket with it. One thing to make sure of is that there's any gunk on this mating surface here to get it cleaned off. That way we can ensure a proper seal of our new gasket. So from here, it's pretty much reverse procedure. What we're going to start with is the brand new gasket. Now what's important to note is that there is a dowel at about the 12 o'clock position, and it's nice because you can actually put the gasket on that dowel, and now we can install our new water pump. And make sure it's fully seated before you start putting your bolts in. Now that all the bolts are into our water pump, next thing to do is torque down the water pump bolts to 7 foot-pounds. I'm using a 3/8 torque bar or torque wrench here. It's not a lot of torque, but it's pretty critical. Now that our water pump is on, last thing to do before we throw on the intake and fill the coolant is to put our belt back on. Now that everything's put back together, we can go ahead and put our negative terminal back onto our battery. Now after that, we can go ahead and close off and tighten the petcock on the bottom of the radiator and add our coolant. One thing to note, on the side of the coolant reservoir there is a fill cold mark. Go ahead and add your coolant to that mark. As you can see, I have a little bit more to go. Your engine can be running while you're adding coolant. It's probably better that way. That way any air can be siphoned out of the system. So just got done with the test drive and everything seems to be great. So I hope this video helped you out. If it has, please like and subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave something in the comment section. And make sure to check out those links if you need any parts or anything like that. So thanks for watching always, guys, and I'll see you next time.